Socialize. I'm Jay, and welcome back to Social Introvert. So, while we're laying down these foundational values, I guess you could say, it's super important to recognize where you're at in order to change. You can't get somewhere unless you know where you're at first. So in order to do that, you have to be able to take an objective, we talked about this a little bit in the last discussion, you have to be able to look at yourself objectively. You have to be able to take the filter off, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, so that you can see things for how they really are and not how you feel like they are, not how you perceive them to be. So there was a experiment that was done where a researcher put some glasses, these specially made optics, on people, and what they did is they actually inverted the light that came in through the eyes so that everything the person saw was flipped upside down. And so at first, when these people went through this, it was really hard on them. They couldn't do simple things. They would try to reach for a cup and they wouldn't be able to grab it. They would miss horribly. They couldn't navigate around the room just walking. But what happened was, over time, their brain began to reassociate what they were seeing and compensate for what they were seeing. And it got to the point where they could do super advanced things. One person even rode a motorcycle through the city without any accidents while wearing those glasses. Okay, so what I want to talk about dealing with us is not quite as cool of a story, but I want you to look at this bag that I've got, okay? What? Oh, hold on, flip it. There we go. What color is this? It's red. You guys can't see it? It looks white to you, right? But I see red when I look at it. So here's the thing, is that I can tell you that this is red. And every time I hold it up, you can tell yourself, Jay says that that's red, so I'm going to believe him, and that's red. But the problem is, you're only telling yourself that, and you're not actually believing it. And in order to change, you have to be able to see red, not white, okay? If you see white and you call it red, that's just behavior modification. You're just correcting your behavior. You're not actually changing. And so what we need to do is we need to be able to actually see it for what it is. We need to be able to actually see it as being red like I say that it is. So I want you to think of things this way. And I call this the J filter. I call it the J filter because my name is Jay. You can call it whatever filter you want, but I'm going to be referring to it as the J filter. So if we put some glasses on you, okay, we're going to put some rose-colored glasses, some red glasses. Boop. There we go. You get your red glasses on now, okay? Everything you see around is red. Now how's this looking? It's looking pretty good now, right? So everything you're seeing right now, you're seeing through a red filter. And the problem with that is, of course, that things are not actually red. That's just the way that you perceive them. And you perceive them that way because of how you grew up, the things you were taught as a child, the way that your parents were, the things that happened to you. Everything in your whole entire life contributes to building up your J filter. And the thing is, you can't see things objectively until we take that filter and we remove it again. Okay, I want to read this part off of my phone because it's really important and I don't want to mess it up. Another thing that contributes to our J filter is something that's called rationalism, all right? Rationalism is when you justify something in your mind in order to feel okay with it. Every now and then, you'll run into a situation where your belief system, it doesn't line up with what you've done or with what's happened to you. And so you can't live in a manner that's inconsistent with what you believe. And so what'll happen is, I believe this, but this occurred, and these two clash. They don't line up. So either you will change your belief, or you will change this if you can. If you can't change this, then what happens is you change this, what you believe. A lot of people, what they do is they end up changing their belief system in order to feel better about what happened. So rather than correcting what's wrong in their belief system, what they end up doing is they end up justifying it in their mind and accepting it or rationalizing it so that it's easier to live knowing that that occurred or that they are that way. So everything in your life, you're seeing it through the J filter, everything. And until you can start to turn that off and see outside of it, take a step back, look outside the box, you're not going to be able to really evaluate where you're at and what your behaviors are and what your downfalls are, that kind of a thing. So today for our challenge, what I want you to do is I want you to Google something called, you don't have to use Google, you can use whatever you want. I use Google. I want you to look up something called the ego defense function, okay? Ego defense function. I want you to do a little research on it, and then down in the comments, I just want you to talk about what you learned, okay? You don't have to give some big detailed thing, and please don't just copy and paste, guys. I want to have discussions. I want to talk about things, all right? So let's talk about what we learned about the ego defense function down in the comments. That's everything for today, though, guys. The J filter, it's key. You got to be able to turn it off. You got to be able to get past that filter in order to start to change, in order to see things for what they really are. And we're going to talk in the next discussion a little bit more about the J filter and how it actually works. But that's it for today. I'm Jay, and I'm a social introvert. Be proud to be yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.